There's an African proverb that says you can't cover a pregnancy, which loosely translates to you can't cover the truth. The truth will always prevail. Going by what happened in the U.S. District Court in Chicago, Bola Tinubu has reached the end. The truth has prevailed. The Chicago State University attorney disowned the certificate he submitted to INEC in front of a judge. Let's hear him.
If a deposition is compelled of my client here, and the issue is, was the June 22nd, 1997 diploma that President Tinubu submitted into evidence in Nigeria or offered to the, whatever that election agency there is, my client is that authentic? My client's going to say, we don't know.
He said, we don't know, that his client, in this case Chicago State University, cannot answer yes or no if the court orders a subpoena, that if the court eventually orders them to answer questions that Atiku's lawyer want to ask them, that they cannot answer yes or no. He also made several references to 1997 instead of 1979. Maybe it's because it was found that one of the signatories in the certificate that Tinubu submitted actually worked in Chicago State University in the 90s. So the person couldn't have signed a certificate that was issued 20 years earlier. That's time travel. It's not possible. And to understand how the judge will decide on this matter, look at the question he asked in open court. Does it mean that Tinubu has a certificate that no one can say where he got it from? Atiku's lawyer quickly jumped and responded, yes, Your Honor. It can't get better than this. All along, the defense line from Tinubu and co. has always been that the university wrote and replied them that Bola Tinubu attended and graduated from the university. That's not the problem. You can replicate this with any university. You can ask University of Lagos or University of Nigeria if any person graduated from their university. Just get the first name and the last name correct. The answer will always be in the positive. But when you ask the gender, the complexion, the height, and many other questions about the particulars of the person that attended the university, you will get the correct answer. That's exactly what Atiku is doing. You already know the backstory. For those who keep asking, why will a US court decide what will happen in Nigeria? They are not actually deciding what will happen in Nigeria. The judge will decide what will happen in Chicago State University, whether they will give the documents to Atiku. And some also ask, why is Atiku challenging Tinubu in a US court? It is because the Nigerian constitution says that anyone who submits a forged certificate while seeking for an elective position must be disqualified. And from day one, it was suspected that the certificate that Tinubu submitted to INEC while filing his particulars for the election was forged, because one Nigerian lawyer already got the original certificate from Chicago State University under subpoena. So they made the comparison and found out that it was quite different. And today, Chicago State University attorney just confirmed to the court that they do not know where the certificate came from, that it didn't come from them. When he's using words like, we can't answer yes or no, we don't know where it came from, he's just avoiding using the word forgery. Of course, the judge can see beyond that, going by the question he asked in open court. So you can understand why Atiku is in US fighting to get this information. If he submitted a certificate from a Nigerian university, the whole fight would have been in Nigeria.
Oh yeah, there we go.
In the beginning, many people were quick to accuse Chicago State University of cover-up. But from what the attorney said today, you can understand that no one is willing to take a hit for anyone, because they have seen far ahead that this might lead to a criminal investigation. And if anyone is found to have forged something or inserted any information for anyone into the records of the university, and imagine the damage it will cause to the person's career and the reputation of the school. So it's better they come clean and say, hey, we don't know this, because there's no defense. This certificate is quite different from the one they issued under subpoena. They can't go back on that. There's no way, because they complied with the subpoena. Now that they have known the whole story, they cannot change again and say, this was this, this was that. So Atiku's approach is the right approach to get all the information. Let's know the truth. Anyone, no matter which side you are on, no matter your political leanings, you cannot in good conscience be against someone who wants to know the truth. If anyone is against what is happening, that means something else is the problem. Something else is at play that we don't know. Because the country should be built on the truth. If people in high places are able to lie their way to power, what will happen to followers? What will happen to the common man? That means the common man will commit wars. Because they've been motivated by their leaders. They say lead by example. So whatever lifestyle, whatever moral authority, whatever thing a leader does, the followers will have all the right in the world to emulate them. So where are we going as a country? There's one other document that is part of the whole that Chicago State University delivered to the Nigerian lawyer under subpoena. Before we see that, democracy remains the best form of government. There's no doubt about that. Democracy works in massive countries like India with more than 1 billion population. Despite their huge population, they are still able to conduct acceptable, free and fair elections. Why can't a small Nigeria do the same? Democracy works in the Western world. It works in the United States. It works in Brazil. Why isn't it working in Nigeria and some other African countries? The answer is very simple. It is the operators that are the problem. The operators in the countries already mentioned all try to obey the rules that govern democracy. And everybody is happy. Because if you don't obey the rules, people won't be happy. Like the saying goes, a problem identified is a problem already solved. It means if you remove all the bad operators in a democracy and put good operators that will obey the rules that govern democracy, democracy will start working like it works in the countries already mentioned. You see, there's one thing they have in common. All the countries where democracy works as it's supposed to be, you see progress, you see development, because politicians who operate in these democracies know there is consequences if they don't perform in office. They know they will go back and face the electorate and they will sack them. The fact that they know there are checks and balances in a democracy will make them to work in the progress of the people. Compare that to where there are bad operators in democracies. You see poverty, you see dusty streets, you see all sorts of bad things. Operators in these democracies know that you can't do anything to them, whether they perform in office or not, no consequence. They can do anything they like with impunity. They are corrupt. You take them to court to contest an election, and the judges will turn around and start defending them, like we saw at the appeal court. They will start blaming the opposition for the wrongdoing of people in power. This is shameful. At this juncture, many people are confused. Some are not, because they've taken a position. They vowed never to vote in Nigeria in any election again. You won't blame them. But despite all the setbacks, we need to continue fighting for democracy, because democracy is the best form of government. How do you fight someone who you know is more powerful than you? You are not David in the Bible. Yes, you can't resort to violence because they use that opportunity and harm people. The only way you can fight back is to continue participating in anything called election. If you hear that there's an election that is going to hold in your constituency, make sure you pick that your voter's card and go and stand in line and sacrifice your time and cast your vote. Keep voting. Let them keep announcing the wrong results. Also, everyone needs to continue talking. Don't let anybody deprive you of your right of free speech. It is guaranteed in a democracy. You have to keep talking. Criticize everything. If you don't talk, that means you're complicit. You approve of what they are doing. Imagine when millions of Nigerians are saying the same thing. There is power in numbers. One day, something must give. For many of you calling for military coup, the problem is that the enormous powers they have, they end up abusing it. Ordinarily, those enormous powers could be used to make quick changes in the country, but they end up abusing them. So military coup is not an option in Nigerian setting for now. Now, let's see this document. This is the GCE result that he submitted to Chicago State University. This document was given to the Nigerian lawyer by Chicago State University under subpoena. You can see the FCT High Court stamp on it. Is it possible that with this set of subjects that he passed, he can use this to enter university and study accounting? People who live in the United States can answer this question. And in case you're wondering why it is from Cambridge, Cambridge used to be in charge of the GCE before WAEC took over. Now, this is a special thanks to all the people that have supported us these past few months, especially the days we were covering the Presidential Election Tribunal. As you can see, we've expanded and creating content that covers African countries. So what you can do to continue to support us is just to watch these videos. We're all fighting for democracy, not just in Nigeria, but all African countries where operators in a democracy do not obey the rules. So when you see these videos, don't just say it doesn't concern me, I'm not interested, it's talking about Gabon, it's talking about Niger. They are all the same fight for democracy. Thanks for watching.